little doggy. This is Gold Leader requesting all wings check in. All wings check in. Gold 3, check in. Gold 3. Finn, check in.
I'm a buff baby that can dance like a man.
Gold 4, check in. I'm crying out loud. Gold 4. Ray, check in. I think I picked the wrong guys. Gold Leader, Red Leader, is your squad ready for combat?
Red Leader, standing by.
Good to hear from your Bobby Broccoli. Are your Y-Wings ready?
My squad's not flying Y-Wings today, Gus.
Well, what kind of wings are you flying?
Buffalo chicken.
I guess I made dumber jokes. All squads in attack formation, converge on Star Killer base. Watch out! Incoming TIE fighters!
Oh god, there's too many! I've been hit!
Hang in there, Bobby. You got this.
I didn't get to make my really meta joke yet!
Bobby, no! I never got to tell him his truth. The Gus Review is better than mine. Oh crap! I'm hit too! I'm going on a poorly rendered blaze of glory!
There has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
Oh, it's just a dream. Okay. I gotta stop eating vegetables before I go to bed. Stuff gives you nightmares. It's not good for you. Star Wars! For those of you that don't know what Star Wars is, allow me to fill you in.
It's freaking Star Wars! How do you not know what Star Wars is, you?
It's a classic science fiction franchise that has bridged the generational gap and is loved by millions. And it also has a lot of merchandise.
Books, toys, candy, toothpaste, board game, coffee bowls, toasters, panties, party plates, and fishing poles.
And of course, video games. And a good number of them have been well received by Star Wars fans. There were first-person shooters, real-time strategy, educational, side-scrollers, and action-adventure games. And today we're going to be taking a look at one of those action-adventure games, Star Wars The Force Unleashed. I have a digital copy. The Force Unleashed takes place between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, and tells the story of Darth Vader's secret apprentice, a new character called Star Killer.
What is your will, my master?
The game got an immense amount of hype before it was released, both for its insane take on lightsaber and force combat, as well as for its impressive use of physics engines. The game broke records for being the fastest selling Star Wars game of all time. It was quite successful overall. It got DLC, a comic spin-off, a sequel, and is now available via backwards compatibility on the Xbox One, which is the version I'll be playing for this review. I would also like to point out that before LucasArts was bought by Disney, this game was considered completely in canon with the Star Wars universe. That preface out of the way, let's get this show wreck on the train rolling. Those were words. Our story begins with Father of the Year, Darth Vader, as he leads an invasion on the Wookiees' homeworld of Kashyyyk, spelled with 3 consecutive Ys. After giving free haircuts to several dozen Wookiees, Vader finds what he's looking for, a rogue Jedi who had hidden away after Order 66 was given. They fight, and unsurprisingly, Vader wins. As the Sith Lord is about to deal the killing blow, the Jedi son uses the Force to stop Vader from killing his father, for about 3 seconds.
Run! That was easy.
Vader decides to kidnap, /adopt, /train the young boy to be his secret apprentice, whom he dubs Star Killer, which was actually the original name George Lucas wanted to call Luke Skywalker. Star Killer is joined by his training droid Proxy and his pilot Juno Eclipse. Together, the 3 of them fly around the galaxy solving mysteries and listening to 60s rock and roll. You know, that doesn't sound quite right. Hang on, let me check my script real quick. Oh, okay, they go around killing Jedi. Close enough, right? Star Killer's first assignment is to kill Rom Koda, a Jedi Knight and a general during the Clone Wars. However, Vader is training Star Killer to be his new apprentice and overthrow the Emperor, so he doesn't want anyone to know about him. anyone.
Leave no witnesses. Kill everyone aboard, Imperials and Kota's men alike.
That means that you get to kill as many stormtroopers as you want without feeling remorse. Hooray for disregarding human life! Yay! Juno drops Starkiller off at an Imperial shipyard above the planet Nar Shaddaa, and Starkiller's journey to the dark side truly begins. The gameplay in Force Unleashed is hack and slash action adventure, similar to something like God of War or Devil May Cry. Starkiller uses a combination of lightsaber and force-based attacks that have been exaggerated to insane proportions. Nothing involving the Force was this insane during the movies. Not even Yoda or the Emperor was this powerful. To me, it seems like someone is telling a story about the Force, but using hyperbole to make themselves sound even cooler. It may be a bit of an odd comparison, but this makes me think of fishing.
You know, Bill, one time I caught me a bass, it was this big, boy, I swear to God.
Yeah, you're full of crap, Terry.
No, man, it's true, it was this dang big, boy.
That's nothing. One time, I picked up this AT-ST and crushed it like it were a tin can.
I think I had a little too much to drink, Bill.
Yeah, I'll be fine. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love that LucasArts went all out and over the top with the combat. It does fittingly fit the game's title. It just seems a little too out of place compared to the rest of Star Wars. And with some of the crazy stuff in those movies, that's saying something. That being said, most of the time the combat is incredibly fun. We'll get to the bad stuff later. Right now, let's focus on the good bits. The lightsaber combat is pretty solid. It can feel a little underpowered sometimes, but it's a great tool for dispatching enemies. However, it's nothing compared to the Force. The Force powers being so over the top makes the gameplay ridiculously entertaining. It is so much fun to fling stormtroopers around like wet socks in a washing machine. You've got Force Grab, Force Push, Force Lightning, Saber Throw, and Electric Shield that you almost never use because it's crap, but the rest of them are awesome! Your Force powers are limited and they do have to take time to recharge, so you can't constantly spam them. And honestly, this is when I would find myself using my lightsaber the most, when I literally couldn't use the Force, because the Force is so much fun. And of course, there are lightsaber duels with other Jedi. These boss fights can be quite challenging, but are pretty exciting and tense. I personally find it more fun to mess with the stormtroopers than fight the Jedi, but you know, it's a Star Wars game. Lightsaber duels are mandatory. It says so in the Bill of Rights. It's totally legit. There's also an upgrading and level up system in the game, allowing you to purchase new combos as well as buff your Force powers and health. And you can unlock some pretty fun moves that way, like being able to punt Jawas. One of the more unique things about The Force Unleashed, at least for the time, is its use of physics engines. It combined 3 separate engines: Havoc, Euphoria, and Digital Molecular Matter. Havoc is used for body and environmental physics, Euphoria for NPC AI, and DMN for destructible and interactable environments. By their powers combined, the 3 engines made for a lovely, if often glitchy experience that got a large amount of praise and recognition. When the game was released in 2008, this level of realistic physics had hardly been seen in a console video game. The Stormtrooper AI is my favorite though. They'll try to grab onto objects, including other Stormtroopers, to stop themselves from being hurled around like a dog's favorite chew toy. Back to the story. Starkiller fights his way around the compound, killing anyone unfortunate enough to cross his path. He reaches the command center and confronts his first real foe.
A boy? Months of attacking Imperial targets and Vader sends a boy to fight me?
I am a man!
Starkiller takes down Kota with relative ease, blinds him, and hurls him down towards the planet below. Our generic white guy protagonist hightails it out there and reports back to Vader, who has his next target for him. Another Jedi called Justin Baratos! So you know how in Star Wars there's a lot of planets where the whole ecosystem is just one environment? You know, you got a planet of snow, a planet of city, a planet of forest. Raxus Prime is the planet of garbage. I mean, it's not a bad concept, it's just kind of a little goofy when you say it out loud. I mean, all the trash in the galaxy has to go somewhere, right? It does make for a pretty cool environment, wandering through and around all these scrap starships and dilapidated droids. It also makes for some unique enemies like the Scrap Guardians, who are amalgamations of junk and metal held together by the Force. Starkiller finds Paratus, who's like a tiny little Doc Ock. Oh, he's all blue and he's so cute and he's got his little lightsaber stick and he's so cute and he's just want to pinch his tiny little cheeks! He then kills him. But before Paratus finally kicks the bucket...
I've failed you again.
That happens, I guess. Juno. The fuck was that? Starkiller is then sent on his final assassination mission. He travels to Felucia to eliminate Shaak Ti, the last surviving member of the Jedi Council.
Except Yoda.
Shaak Ti has also taken an apprentice named Maris Brood, and with a name like that, you know she's gotta be a good guy! She sends Brood away to protect her and takes on Starkiller herself, right outside of a Sarlacc pit, which is the big worm sand thingy in episode 6. It doesn't really work out for her, though. Okay, hang on. Just real quick here. What's with the beam of light? That's never happened in the movies. I never saw that in any of the expanded universe. It just seems to come out of nowhere. Though to be fair, the movies weren't exactly consistent either about what happens to a Jedi's body when they die. The only thing I can think is that it signifies a definite sign that a Jedi has died, because Paratus did it, and now Shakti did it, but Coda didn't do it because, spoiler alert, Coda's not really dead. Turns out being blinded by a lightsaber and hauled out of a space station from orbit just results in some minor cuts and bruises and turning into a drunk.
I paid for this table.
Anyway, Starkiller returns to Vader to be informed that the Emperor is here live for one night only with special guest Bruno Mars. Tickets start at just $35 with an additional convenience charge of $60 because we're Ticketmaster. Fuck you! And unfortunately for him, the Emperor's spies found out about Starkillers, so...
What you say? Oh, that you only meant well. What you say? What you say? What you say?
Nah, he's alive. And surprisingly completely fine. Vader just had to fake Starkiller's death to get the Emperor off his back. Vader then commands the actually not dead apprentice to start building a rebellion in order to distract the Emperor so he can finally catch him off guard and kill the Emperor. Seems like kind of a weird roundabout way of doing it, but okay. Vader also informs him that he has to sever all ties he previously had, which means that Juno has to die. But Proxy gets to live for some reason, because that's fair. But Starkiller says screw that and saves Juno from execution. He tells her that he's leaving the Empire behind and they start an awkward romance because men and women can never just work together. I say an awkward romance because these two have almost nothing in common. They both worked for the Empire and like wearing black, that's about it. I think the only reason Juno has feelings for Starkiller is because he saved her from being executed. She's just a generic damsel in distress at this point. Hell, I think Proxy has more romantic chemistry with Starkiller than Juno does. In fact... Fuck it, why not? I ship it. Starkiller finds a totally not dead Rom Coda drunk at a bar in Cloud City. He's able to recruit the former general into helping him start a rebellion, they fight some dudes, and leave. And this is around the point where I start to lose interest in The Force Unleashed. The game introduces a lot of new stormtroopers in the mix. Some are resistant to force attacks, some resistant to lightsaber attacks, and none of them are fun to fight. The Purge troopers are the worst. They soak up so much punishment and deal out tons of damage. The best way I could find to fight them was use Force Lightning. Shock them till you run out of juice, run away like a pansy, then come back and keep shocking them. That's not fun! That's just tedious! There's also the turning point in the game where knockback becomes a really big issue. When you get hit in The Force Unleashed, you get stunned and don't get a period of invincibility like you do in some games. Most of the time it's not a big deal since you just get hit with blaster fire which doesn't stop you from moving, or just does a little bit of damage. But when it's a melee hit, or missiles, or thermal detonators, you'll just keep getting hit again. And again. And again, 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 and again. Another really frustrating thing is the amount of in-game cutaways there are. You'll just be moseying on through a level and then BAM! A cutscene starts to show you a door opening, or a group of enemies, or something like that. And you can't skip these, so if you die, you gotta watch them again and again. And there's a good chance you'll die, because the enemies will still attack you during them. You'll take damage and knockback, but you can't defend yourself until the cutscene's over. It's ridiculous.
This class is ridiculous.
And speaking of ridiculous, the way some of these characters' faces look, it's too much sometimes, you know? Starkiller's eyes give me the creeps, Coda's beard is just a solid mass of styrofoam, and Juno always looks awkward. Her mouth does not look real. But luckily for her, she was able to get a job after this game as Renee Young in WWE 2K16.
Please join me in welcoming my guest tonight.
It's always good to find work, even though your mouth is still wonky as dicks.
Let's talk about Roman Reigns.
Coda tells Starkiller he has a contact named Bail Organa who can help him start his rebellion, if he finds him something he's looking for on Kashyyyk. However, Coda doesn't actually tell us what Bail is looking for, instead preferring to be all mysterious and rude. Come on, Coda, just tell me what Bail's looking for, none of this riddle bull crap. I've got to search an entire planet for one thing Bail Organa is looking for. Do you have any idea how hard that... Oh, hey, there it is. Yep, we've got to save Bael's daughter, Princess Leia. After fighting through yet another Imperial compound, Starkiller finds Leia, but she refuses to leave unless he can destroy a space elevator and save the Wookiees. Because it's a video game, and we need more objectives to complete. After doing as she wishes, Starkiller returns to his ship to find out that Bail Organa has gone missing. Turns out he got captured by Maris Brood when he went looking for Shock T for help. Should we tell him? Starkiller returns to Felucia to rescue Bail and ends up inside a Sarlacc that has somehow been taken over by the Empire. I don't know why Kotor and Starkiller think Bail was inside of there, or what purpose it served to the plot, so why is it in the game?
Because it's cool.
He then finds Maris Brood and her pet, a giant bull Rancor, which is defeated by the old fateful war tactic of moving out of the way at the last second, because that's fun and original. Starkiller then fights Brood herself, who up until now has been shown as a badass warrior, but then when she gets defeated...
This planet is evil. Corrupted me. But you can save me.
She gives Starkiller the puppy dog eyes. Seriously? You attack me with a giant monster, then fight me one-on-one, and you expect me to just let you go?
Just let me go.
I want to stab you so badly right now. But against everyone's wishes, Starkiller lets her off the hook and she runs away. Even Bail thinks she made a bad decision.
You shouldn't have let her go free.
I didn't want to! Starkiller then checks in with Vader, who gives him orders to demolish a Star Destroyer shipyard back on Raxus Prime. But just when his call with Vader ends...
Juno.
And thus we get romantic cliche number 394. Getting caught in a lie. You know who wouldn't lie to you, Starkiller? Proxy. Just open your heart to the one who's been there for you from the beginning. You two were made to be. Juno begrudgingly takes Starkiller back to Raxus Prime to eliminate the Star Destroyer factory, but he gets a bit distracted when Proxy decides to give Starkiller a little surprise. However, instead of waiting for him in bed in some sexy lingerie, he tries to murder Starkiller. Ooh, that's a bit of a bad move there, Proxy. You two might need some couples therapy after that one. You see, Proxy's a training droid that can take on the shape of other people. He can take on the appearance of pretty much anyone, and he'll attack Starkiller at random just to make sure his skills are sharp.
My onboard tactical computer suggests that this is the best time to attack.
This just seems like some padding. I mean, I don't see how this could be any good.
Shut down, Proxy. There's no one inside you that I haven't already defeated.
Give me some credit, Master. I have one module you've never seen. An enemy I've studied for years.
Oh my God! That lightsaber, the face paint, that music! I don't care if it has nothing to do with the game, it doesn't advance the plot in any way, it's Darth frickin' Maul! Sure, it would make no sense as to why Vader would put a Darth Maul program installed in Proxy. He only saw him for about 12 seconds total before he was sliced in half, but this moment was so unexpected. I couldn't help but get excited for it. I love Darth Maul. He was the best part of the Phantom Menace, and he had 2 lines! Yeah, come on, Darth Maul, come on! Get him! Come on, yeah! Yes! Dick-ass, yeah! Yeah! Oh. Was it good for you? And after that awesome but completely pointless bit of fan service, we come to my least favorite part of the game. Say, do you kids remember earlier when I talked about Starkiller's force powers being a bit too ridiculous? Here's what I'm talking about. After beating Proxy Maul, Starkiller proceeds to rip a Star Destroyer out of the sky using only the Force. Look, I know this is Star Wars, and I know this is an exaggerated version of it, but this is just too much for me, especially because this was still considered in canon at the time. In the Clone Wars cartoon series, which was also considered canon at the time, Yoda was able to bring down ships using the Force. However, there were 3 major differences between these 2 cases. Number 1, Starkiller was all alone during his fight. He constantly has to break his concentration to fight off incoming TIE fighters. Yoda was surrounded by clones supporting him. He wasn't having to personally fight off enemies at the same time. He was able to put all his focus and attention on these ships. Number 2, the size difference. According to the Star Wars Wikipedia, the smallest model of Star Destroyer is roughly 10 times the size of a droid transport ship. Even though Yoda's manipulating 2 at once, that's still a hell of a lot less mass you have to move and concentrate on. And my third point, and most important, he's goddamn Yoda! If anyone could take down a Star Destroyer using only the Force, Yoda probably could. but there's no way a teenager like Starkiller could do that. He may be incredibly powerful, but this is just too much even for the over-the-top nature of the Force Unleashed. I just can't buy that this could happen. God, that was the nerdiest rant I've ever been on. I'm never getting late again, am I?
Nope.
Now, the whole overpowered thing wouldn't be as big a deal here for me if it wasn't for one major problem. And say it with me now, kids. In theory. In reality. Just slight scooting of the analog sticks. Yep. If you're going to do something in a video game that takes me out of the realism of that game's universe, make it fun, not just wiggling the analog sticks around. Starkiller destroys the facility and finds Proxy amongst the wreckage, and he's got some important news. Master, I'm pregnant.
The shockwave, it burned out portions of my processor. My primary programming has been erased. I'm useless now.
Proxy. You're not staying here, come on.
Those crazy kids. They're gonna be okay. Starkiller and friends meet up with Bale and his allies on Corellia, and they begin cooking up a plan to stop the Empire. Do. What? I said cooking.
And one day, the galaxy will indeed be free.
But Vader crashes the party and gives the second best line delivery in the game.
You agreed to stay away!
I lied.
I love that line, it's hysterical. Vader's just telling it like it is. There's no more deceit, there's no sugarcoating, just...
I lied.
So it turns out Vader's just been using Starkiller to seek out the enemies of the Empire and destroy them. A bit of a long con there, Vader. Did you have this plan when you kidnapped Starkiller like 10 years ago, or is this more of a spur-of-the-moment idea? And just when it looks like all hope is lost for Starkiller... Proxy, no! You monster, Vader! How could you kill him? Like, actually, how could you kill him? Like, he's been stabbed in the chest, like 3 times and he's been fine, but this is just too much. You stabbed him in the heart, Vader, and you broke Starkiller's heart. They were gonna live in the Welsh mountains. They were gonna open a sweater store. It was gonna be great. I need a minute. Just give me a minute, please.
A few moments later.
Oh, why must the good die young?
12 seconds later.
So Juno is able to find Starkiller and gets him back to their ship, where he meditates to find out where Vader took the rebels. His visions then lead him and Juno to the still under construction Death Car.
Am I going to see you again?
Probably not, no.
Then I'll never need to live this down.
Whoa! Time out, Juno. The man's lover was just stabbed by his ex-boss. Don't you think you should give him a bit of breathing room first? Freaking homewrecker. So Starkiller finds himself in the bowels of the Death Star, and gosh diddly dang, this fight is hard. Everything's attacking you at once. There's almost no cover, and the knockback keeps you down, so you just keep getting hit. It's fucking bonkers, man. Damn it. Shit. Darn. Once you get out of the hangar, you drop down into lasers! Starkiller fights his way along one of the Death Star's laser systems and eventually gets to Palpatine's throne room. His vision was right, and the rebels are inside there, currently being threatened by the Emperor himself, who delivers the best line in the game.
You will give me the names of your friends and allies. And then you will die.
God damn, I love Palpatine. He's just an old guy with all the power in the universe, and he just doesn't give a fuck anymore. Fun fact, the voice actor that played Starkiller, Sam Witwer, also played Palpatine in this game. Just thought that was worth mentioning. Moving on. Palpatine sends Vader off to fight Starkiller, and we finally get the matchup we've been waiting the whole game for. It's The Rock versus John Cena at WrestleMania! Nah, it's Vader and Starkiller. pretty obvious in retrospect. So Vader and his former apprentice duke it out in a hallway and then on some weird, like, solid plasma wall or something. And Vader actually takes a really severe beating in this. The two end up in Palpatine's chambers where Starkiller continues to beat down on Vader until... Holy! He just killed Darth Vader! And now Bale's dead! Oh, this isn't looking good for the rebellion. Oh, look, Juno's here. Okay, look, Juno's here. She'll get Starkiller out, it'll all be good. That's not good. Oh, yeah.
You had such promise, but I may still have some small use for you. You will do my bidding until I find a new apprentice. And then you will be cast aside. Finish it.
That's not a happy ending at all. Good thing that's not the real ending.
I lied.
That was just an alternate non-canon ending for some reason. The real ending has Starkiller saving the rebels from the Emperor and ends up sacrificing himself so the rebellion can be born. Juno, Bale, Coda, and all those guys end up going to Kashyyyk and for some reason go to Starkiller's childhood home. There, they make an official declaration of rebellion against the Empire.
The Rebel Alliance is born. Here.
We need a flag to rally behind. A symbol. A symbol of hope.
So that's how the Rebel Alliance got their logo. Leia decided to say, fuck it, this thing on a table will work just as well. What if it had been something a little more inappropriate?
A symbol of hope.
And that was Star Wars The Force Unleashed. And I've got to say, this is actually a really fun game. At least for the first half. Before the game throws too much at you, it lets you have a ton of fun and run wild with the Force powers and physics engines. After you beat the game, I highly suggest going back to some of the early stages with your fully leveled up Starkiller and just wreak havoc on anything with a pulse. And some things without pulses. You can also change your lightsaber color and skin at any point, so if you want to be Qui-Gon Jinn and fight stormtroopers, go right ahead. Like I said earlier on in the review, there is DLC for this game. An in-story level where Starkiller goes to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant to learn more about his father and his past, and two other stages that follow the non-canon ending where you are now the Emperor's assassin and fight people like Boba Fett, Ben Kenobi, and Luke Skywalker. I'm not going to go into detail on the DLC right now, but if you guys want me to, I could always do a mini review on them, so leave a comment below and let me know what you think about that. And while I don't really mind the idea or concept of having non-canon conclusions, I'm a little miffed that the ending is the only time the player gets to make any sort of choice. There are plenty of other opportunities for choices throughout the game. Like, do you leave Proxy on Raxus Prime? Or do you kill Maris Brood on Felucia? Because let me tell you, I sure would have. Puppy dog eye bullshit. It really could have amped up Starkiller's character a bit more. Is he still loyal to the dark side? Is he changing his ways? They could have made him turning to the light side a much bigger deal than just, I've got a blue lightsaber, I'm a face now, buy our merchandise. After he was betrayed by Vader, he just becomes a good guy. I would have liked being able to see a different take on this, like maybe he goes for just pure revenge instead of becoming a Jedi. The single choice just seems to come out of nowhere at the end, only to result in shock value if you went after Vader instead of Palpatine. I honestly wish they would have left it out so I could have just enjoyed a complete story instead of just wondering, what if? Overall, despite its flaws, I think I can safely recommend The Force Unleashed. While it does get frustrating later on and the knockback is beyond annoying, the combat is fluid, the over-the-top physics are superb, and the story, despite some plot holes, is still enjoyable enough to see through to the end. Without a doubt, I can say this is the best licensed game I reviewed on this show. And now I just have one last thing to say before I end the video. Starkiller made the ultimate sacrifice to save the galaxy, because someone made the ultimate sacrifice for him. Proxy will never be forgotten. And now, the two can finally be together forever. Truly, love conquers all. Da-do-da-do-do. What? I said cooking. I spent $6 on this hat, damn it! I'm using it in a video! And that is that. You were destined for so much more greatness. We'll get there one day, kid. My head feels tight now.